Hey, welcome to another fabulous episode of the Ask Dr. Ernst show. I have an exceptional guest all the way from the other side of the pond. Dmitri Leonov is joining us today in Hamburg, right? Correct? Hamburg.
That's right.
And it's only just a little bit early in the morning for you. So thank you for staying up throughout the night to get on this show today. But we're going to talk a ton today, guys, about something that you may know a little bit about, but probably not fully. And I have like what I believe is the expert of what we would call sort of frequency energy, frequency healing, frequency harmonics, helping your body tune itself to its innate vibrational frequency. Look, we know that vibrations are legitimately real. We know music is vibration, sound is vibration, light is even technically vibration to a degree. And we know the human body does vibrate. The challenge, and I think you're going to talk a lot about this, is if you're vibrating at a frequency that doesn't line up with health and healing, and we go even deeper, love and relationships and peace and kindness, then you're going to have a physical effect start to manifest. So could it be that your health issue isn't something any more physical or deficiency or organic, but maybe you have a vibrational subluxation or a vibrational issue? And today we're going to talk about this awesome technology called the One Device. It's an actual pendant, it's a necklace. I've got mine, he has his. We're going to discuss why is it that you would probably want to get one of these today. And so I'm going to hand the microphone over to our rock star guest today. Thank you, Dmitri, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So here's my first question. Could you give us like maybe small little background history of just you? Because I have learned in doing thousands of interviews, the story that leads us up to today often has some universal or innate sort of guidance where things you've done and how you grew up or what your early career was or whatever has led you to where you are today. Let's see if that's true for you, like it is every single guest I interview.
Sure. So, my background is I'm not a doctor, I'm not an engineer, I'm a entrepreneur, as I'm a startup guy. It was for the
Yeah.
longest time my LinkedIn title was startup guy. I really like finding kind of combining things, finding patterns, looking for patterns, seeing what needs to be created and making it happen. So I'm just grateful that this technology chose me to kind of and the team
Yeah.
to bring it into the world, and just grateful for the opportunity really. So it started, this particular journey started just a little bit less than a decade ago. I've always been curious in how reality works. So I majored in business in university. And so like later in life, I started just getting curious about physics, and I started reading a bunch of um, just popular physics books, like no
Mhm.
math, but just like, things that normal people can understand. And it was just fascinated with quantum physics and just everything around it. And what fascinated me is that we discovered about 100 years ago that physics is quantum.
Mhm.
Until then, we thought it was Newtonian, right? And so we know for a really long time now that physics is quantum, that everything vibrates, that everything is a wave and a particle, depending on whether or not you're observing it. And
Correct.
we're not going to get into it. But what's crazy is when it comes to medicine and health and wellness and biology in general, we're still very much thinking in Newtonian molecular terms,
Mhm.
right? It's supplements, it's pharmaceuticals, it's scalpels, right? And it's like very physical 3D interventions, dealing with your body as if it's a broken machine that needs to be fixed.
Correct. Yeah.
But if we assume that quantum physics is correct, and we actually know it's correct, that everything is vibrating, everything is vibration, everything is frequency before it's a particle.
Yes.
And if that's the case, then how does that change our worldview of biology, health, wellness, and frankly, medicine?
Yeah, no, it's
And
great.
so,
I think when I was in school, in the natural realm, like my doctorate in natural medicine, we were always taught over here is allopathic, the
yeah,
medical model of the machine of the human body, which it is sort of a machine. There's parts, and we've learned you can take this out and you can put this in. and you can make it work. But then we have what we were told, which is vitalistic. It's the idea that
Mhm.
there's a innate life force that isn't actually something physical. It's a metaphysical. For example, the actual electricity that runs through the human body, that's from the brain, spinal cord, out the nerves to all your organs, it's electrochemical. But we also realize that there's something beyond just the electrochemical. Because, for example, you can take the human heart out, place it on a petri dish, and it still beats for several minutes without wiring from the brain. So how does that happen? And your liver can regenerate even if three-quarters of it's gone. And how does it happen? It's not something physical, it just happens. And so in my schooling in natural medicine, we were taught there's a universal intelligence. It's the
Mhm.
God, if you will, it's the universe, it's the everythingness, and everything has it. This computer has an intelligence. The countertop I'm standing at has an intelligence, but it's not innate. It's not living. This is physically intelligent, but then you take the universal and you imply an innate, a consciousness, a self-being. Think of it as like, how do we innately generate new tissue when we get a injury? It just happens. So we call that innate. And certain things have innate and certain things don't. Chairs don't have innate. You cut the leather on a chair, the leather's dead, but it won't regenerate. But if you cut your skin, it's technically leather. It is. And so, but that regenerates. Why? There's an innate in me that's no longer in the chair. So we were told in schooling that there is this force that we haven't fully figured out yet that actually heals a human being. And how cool is it that you're like, yeah, it's vibrational frequency. It's part of it, at least.
Nice. Well, that's your words in God's ear, man. It's
Yes.
and fortunately, most allopathic doctors, which is most doctors, aren't thinking in those terms.
No.
And I'm glad that it's starting to change, hopefully. And thank you for spreading that
Well,
message.
you have to remember, my school was in Canada and not in the U.S. And we are naturopathic physicians, so doctor of natural medicine, DNM, not MD. A lot of my podcasts, I say MDs manage disease. That's what MD stands for. And a DC, a chiropractor, they detect the cause, so they look for subluxation, DC. And a DNM is someone who directly neurologically motivates you to heal. So like we try to neurologically motivate people to understand there's a greater power than just a deficiency in a drug. So let's shift now to talk to us a little bit just for basic education. What is a vibrational frequency in terms of energy medicine? Like what are we talking about here?
So, okay, so this is a very broad term. There's quite a few quite different things. So, first of all, last I checked, there were over 13,000 peer-reviewed studies on PubMed, which is the US National
National
Library of
Library of Medicine. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
so peer-reviewed, most of them, or many of them, placebo-controlled studies on a few specific things. So light therapy, sound, electromagnetic frequencies like pulse, PEMF,
Mhm.
really, and physical vibration. Most of those thousands are actually on light therapy. So that is by far the most studied form of medicine or
You're talking
frequency.
like laser, photonic, LED slash red light, all that stuff.
Infrared, red,
Yeah.
exactly. Most of this is frankly infrared and red,
Yeah, correct.
but also laser. But there are also some in the last couple of years. There's quite a few ultrasound.
Hmm.
We can apply ultrasound to specific points in the brain to
Correct.
do
Yep.
certain things to destroy tumors. Like it's getting
Well, I
there.
know they have
But
they have something called a gamma knife, which is
yeah.
a gamma ray blade where they can not have to go through your scalp or skin and they can focus like and then they can cut tissue using gamma rays.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's very
So
fascinating.
exactly. So basically anything that's vib frequency in some form. So anything that's not 3D.
Right.
Okay, and then here's the another kind of overarching point. So I personally believe that what we consider 3D physical things is actually just vibration that's slowed down enough,
Correct.
right? So it's really kind of the same thing, but it's a little bit less visible than we are, or touchable than we are we're used to.
Yeah.
So it's really all of those things. The method of action, again, is very different. It's from cutting to stimulating your mitochondria with red light that
Yes.
produces all sorts of effects. So it's really lumping all those things together. So the thing what we focused on with one device is kind of this a more specific way of using frequency. It is to bring your body, your physical, mental, emotional being into that state of balance
Yeah.
where your body can heal itself.
So
That's
it's
really
like
all we're saying.
tuning, would you say, because I mean I'm somewhat of a musician, it's like tuning a guitar
Yeah.
because each string needs to have a specific note, which is a vibrational note. And if all six are in tune as you strum, you hear something that actually sounds good. But if I was to just take two of the six strings and untune them, oh, it sounds terrible. So are you describing it as like you're kind of tuning the frequency of your body with the device?
Absolutely. So, and this is actually a really good point. So, okay, so with the guitar, you can tune the E string,
Yes.
right, the lowest string to an actual E,
Yep.
or you don't have to, or you can tune it to D, you can
Well,
tune
you
it
can
to
even do
whatever.
half
And
steps, and if you know that, but yes.
exactly. But so as long as the strings are in tune with each other, it's going to
Correct.
sound good.
Correct.
And this is in the beginning, we were wondering, so how's this going to work? So one device, it's playing 10 frequencies, and it's for those who know, it's solfeggio frequencies. So
Hmm.
basically, there are the same frequencies for everyone, and somehow, and we know everyone is different, everyone is a snowflake, yet somehow it actually works.
Yeah.
And so the explanation that we realized is that it's actually not the individual frequency of your different organs that matters, it's the relationship between them. So it's the
Wow.
ratio
Yes.
between the different notes that counts. And so that's what we've been focused on initially. Now what's we are actually about to find that perfect E string. So we're launching a new kind of new feature, new version where we can actually find your own individual resonant
Okay.
frequency.
Wow. Yeah. That would
And so this is work that one of our advisors, one of the actually the pioneers in the vibroacoustic space, Dr. Jeffrey Thompson. So
okay.
he's developed this a while ago. And so basically we can find your own resonant frequency through HRV biofeedback.
There you go. Yeah.
And then
So
we
let
can
me ask you a
program it.
question. I've had a lot of companies send us pendants that claim to do all kinds of things. Like I have one that supposedly blocks or somehow harmonizes you to EMF. So I have an EMF pendant. And I'm going to say it's hard to tell. Was it a placebo when I wore it where I was like, whoa, I feel really weird. But then all of a sudden I didn't. I've got another pendant that supposedly has, like scalar energy. I don't know if you want to go there or not, but scalar waves coming out of it. Can you
Mhm.
maybe just lightly talk on how does a non-electronic pendant that has scalar versus like a piece of metal that has a Celtic logo in it, and then your device. What's the difference between these?
Sure. And I think all of this has right to exist, and
Correct.
everything works to some in some capacity for sure. In fact, even if it's just placebo, placebo is
Why
the
not?
one
Well, yeah,
consistent.
placebo is extremely powerful.
Exactly. It's like the most powerful, the
Most
only
powerful
consistent
drug on the
result of
history
every
of the
study ever
planet of
done.
everything is a placebo drug.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so on that, there's a spectrum of things that are like I would say mainstream, kind of allopathically understood and
Yes.
studied, and there's things that are like a little bit more out or like a lot more out there. So on that spectrum, we are, I would say, pretty much in the middle, if not on like the more mainstream side
Closer
of things.
to closer to research verified, and you
Yeah,
could say
exactly.
yes.
Yeah, because we're dealing with light, infrared light, visible light, sound, so it's all very like, physical things you can experience, and it's all all working together, right?
Yes.
And this is the key thing. And this was the original kind of aha moment is. And by the way, before this, the way I even got involved in this whole frequency medicine thing. I was part of the team that brought a device to market called Tau Patch, and this was a wearable device that was a light therapy wearable. So it's focused only on light therapy. And what we saw is that, I mean, we had incredible results with particularly with neurological patients with like MS, Parkinson's. Just it was wonderful technology. And the whole idea behind one device was to take what's working from light therapy, subtract what's not working, add other things that need to be added. And so basically what we did is we made all of it work coherently in synchrony. And so, for example, the infrared light that's in here is pulsing at the same rate as the frequency of the sound, right? So it's all kind of working together. So
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this case, it's like 1 + 1 = 10, or 1 + 1 + 1 = 30,
Yeah.
right? That's the idea.
So let's discuss this concept of how maybe you can go into this a little bit because I still think we have some viewers that are probably like, I still don't understand what you mean by like frequencies. So like the Earth, so sorry, someone is attempting to call me during a Zoom. So the Earth has an actual frequency that we will look at. Ah, thanks guys for calling during our live broadcast. Okay, so the Earth has a frequency and it's known as I'm going to butcher. Is it Schumann? Is that correct?
Schumann.
7.38 hertz, if I remember right.
Yep.
So can you describe like if the Earth is vibrating at a specific frequency, and we know other things vibrate at other frequencies, we know that there's like 428 and 528, 800, which maybe you could explain some of the most common frequencies people should know about. How does
Sure.
those numbers tie into what your necklace is doing? Maybe connect the dots if you can between we know scientifically the Earth has a vibration. We know certain emotions have vibrations. We know love is different than anger and hate, and there's higher emotion frequencies. Usually, the more peaceful, joyous love is high, and like depression is like extremely low. So, can you talk just briefly about that?
Sure. And this is kind of the, I would say, not cutting edge research, but this is research that's happening right now, right? So what I'm saying is it's not on PubMed, a lot of
Right.
it, right?
Exactly.
But it's coming. Well, so okay, as far as the Schumann resonance, that is okay. That is definitely on PubMed. That is very proven. So un until quite recently, until a few decades ago, the only frequency that humans were exposed to over the last thousands of years is the Schumann resonance. That is
Right.
the, well, okay, so I would say we are frequency beings, and we are wired for um, resonance and for rhythm. So, we have our circadian rhythm, which is tied to the rotation of the Earth. Women's cycles are tied to the moon. Women's cycles are also tied to each other. So we are very cyclical and vibrational, right? And literally. And so the Schumann resonance is really the only one that we were exposed to. And so because everything vibrates in
Yes.
nature,
Yep.
it also resonates with everything else around. And so and this is I'm going to get to your question in a second, but this is an important point. Um, so if we lived in a forest, if we didn't have all of our phones and Wi-Fi's and EMFs and car batteries and toxins and
Yeah.
people, right? We wouldn't need this thing. We would be just
Well,
fine.
you would
We would
harmonize to the Earth, is what you're saying, basically.
But you would harmonize to the natural kind of cycle. I mean, Earth is that's 7.83. That's one. Um, I mean, we have our heartbeat, right? We
That's
have
true.
our
Yeah.
brain waves.
You
Like
would you
there's
would
there's
tune yourself to the various frequencies of the natural environment. Correct.
well, yeah, and
Harmony.
so interestingly, so the 7.83, it's in the theta range of the brain waves, right? So it's like the calming, um, peaceful, meditative state, right? So because we are living in this kind of new world with all of these frequencies around us, we begin to resonate with them instead of our core frequency, or
Correct.
dissonate with our core frequency and resonate with all of this noise, which takes us out of that state of balance. And there are, yes, there are different. Okay, so the one study I just I remembered a couple days ago, um, they put a bunch of people into rooms where there were sub audible frequencies. So human ear can hear from about 20 hertz to 20,000
Correct.
for something like that. And so
Based on your
basically, like,
age too. It's based on your age. The older you get, the less you can hear the higher frequencies.
exactly, yeah. But basically, so if you put those like low frequency sounds that you cannot hear, people start to get nervous,
Hmm.
like nervous, anxious, like worried, feared some. And so that's kind of what we do know, that lower frequencies are those kind of not so happy frequencies, and the higher ones are. I mean, I don't recommend going and listening to like 10,000 hertz because that'll hurt your ears.
Yes.
But it
Well,
is
I've heard like 1,000 hertz is like love joy, right? So like if you were just
quite pleasant. Yeah.
if you were just to have that kind of like going in the background, but you have to have a special speaker to do it. You can't just expect your Amazon Alexa to pull off 1,000 hertz, or can it?
No, 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 it is.
Like,
A
they
thousand is fine.
I thought you
Well,
had to
actually,
have harmonic speakers.
okay. Well, so you actually can hear everything from 174 to 963 on your one
Well, that's
device.
gonna be my next question because occasionally I hold it and I'm like, well, I can actually hear that one. So
Oh,
yes, as you tap through your
yeah. So if you toggle it all the way to the purple one,
uh-huh,
that's the highest. So 963. So
and then you can hear
it's
it. Yes,
fine. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
so we know the Earth has a vibration. We know scientifically, they've done studies on this, like you said, depression, anxiety, low, peace, joy, love, happiness. I mean, going biblical, if you will, the fruits of the spirits, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, happiness, self-control, all that is higher frequencies. So in our office, we actually throw people on a plate that vibrates at about 800 hertz physically. We vibrate their entire
oh,
body. And a lot of
nice.
our patients are like, well, I don't know, I just feel really good when I get off this. And we're like, well, we tell them, well, there's structurally we're resetting your spine, we're forcing your muscles to contract, which we are, but we're also probably for the first time in their entire existence having them vibrate their entire body at 800 hertz. And they're
Wow.
very unique. These are custom plates that we designed for our clinic that had a frequency. And this I'm talking 22 years ago. I kind of knew that you need to vibrate, and so we came up with this concept of put people on a plate that makes their entire body shake. And everyone tells me the first time they get on it that everything itches. Like it's like they're itchy and
Mhm.
they're like it doesn't feel good. And I'm like, you just work through it, and eventually every single patient of ours is like, I can't wait. Some people stand on it for 20 minutes. We try to kick them off of it because we have other people waiting for it. So um, it's revolutionary when you start just even opening your mind to what happens when you vibrate at a specific frequency.
Well,
Um,
hold on, so these are really custom because I haven't seen vibrating plates that go that high.
no, we had them
That's amazing.
handmade and we had
Wow.
the motors custom generated.
Yeah.
And the unique thing, thank God, I'm knocking on my countertop. 22 years and they're still going and they've never broken ever. It
Wow.
could be because we picked the right frequency. So let me talk real quick about this. So how like because we're 27 minutes into this, how do people get one of these? Where do they go? What like give me your 30-second like here's why you should wear the one device every
Okay.
day of your life.
Okay. Well, so first of all, go to theonedevice.com.
Yeah, I'll put it
That's
on
our
the
website.
screen somewhere around
Okay.
here. So like my team should probably have it up there. And we'll even maybe like hang a video of your website or something like,
Oh,
well,
perfect.
I'll scoot over, should be scrolling right there for you. So yeah, we have the website. Describe to me just real quick. You have different like models. We have the slate black. There's I think there's a gold and then a rose gold. Is that correct? Are they different or is it just the way they look?
Just the way they look. So our thinking behind this was to basically what we wanted to do is to create a wearable device that A looks, I mean, okay, that was the last thing was to look good. That's something you want to wear.
Yeah.
Most wearables nowadays, it's yes, it's wearable, but you don't really want to wear it. So we wanted to make something that looks cool, looks like jewelry, but and is most importantly easy to wear. The,
Yeah.
the other thing that is super annoying is most wearables make you do work, like do
Yeah.
something, right? Use an app to do something with them. With this, you just literally put it on and forget it. You can, if you want to,
So
pick,
you
like, if
can
you
pick
want to
a
be more specific
specific
and pick the,
frequency for it to stay at, correct? Yeah.
yeah, but honestly, I never do this. Most people don't. And so all the results you see on our website are from people who just wear it.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, and the biggest aha moment was, um, I see all this research on light therapies, sound, like people go to sound healing. I used to go to, I
Yeah, like
still go to
where they
sound
have
healing.
all the Tibetan bowls and they're
Yeah, yeah.
right. I've been to one. I've
Well,
gone to one myself.
and the idea,
Energetics.
and frankly, and your vibration plate in your office, like all
Yeah,
these therapies, we know they work. We know you feel amazing. Problem is, you stand on it for 20 minutes, or maybe if you're lucky, and for an hour, and then you go back in traffic. Then you
yeah,
sit on top of your Tesla battery. Then you're back in your normal environment, and so very quickly, all the effects kind of go back to normal. So our idea was, hey, let's make a wearable that you want to wear, that doesn't require any work, and it continues tuning
yeah.
you all day long.
Yep.
That's the whole idea
Question.
behind it.
I've had a few people ask, does it matter where it is? Like if you were to keep it here versus, further down, does it matter where it hangs when you're wearing it?
Okay, it depends is the answer. So first of all, another question that I get is, how will I feel something, right? And how quickly do I feel something? And this really depends on how sensitive you are to energy in general. Like I am really not that sensitive, so when I put it on, I don't really feel it. I just notice the results over time. You
What
know.
about the very first time? 'Cause I'll be honest, I don't consider myself very sensitive to energy. My wife, on the other hand, is. I put it on, and what I noticed was I was like, does anybody else think it's 1,000 degrees in here? My ears turned red, and I
Oh
was like,
wow.
I think I'm having palpitations. And I had to take it off for a moment because I was like, it is so hot in here. And then I gave it to one of my staff, and she's like, I don't, nothing, Dr. Ernst. She's like, are you sure it's working? And I put it back on, and I'm like, oh God, it's like I'm standing inside of a volcano. And it took about
Wow.
3 days. Now I wear it pretty much from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, and I don't even feel it anymore. But like, would that be someone who is energetically sensitive, or are you like, that's a very unique response? That's new for us.
Um, it's not new, but what I tell you is everyone is completely different.
I
Some
would
some
agree.
people feel this, other people feel like some people feel like energy going up and down their spine, other people feel tingling, other people feel like a coffee energy boost, other people don't feel anything.
You're right.
Um, so it really does depend. My theory on this, and I don't, that's my only explanation I came up with, is that uh, what it's doing is it's putting you back into that state of balance, but sometimes it requires to like clear through something. So
Yeah,
we've had
sure.
a few people respond or tell us that it's like bringing stuff up that's a little bit uncomfortable at
Yeah.
first, which is, I don't know.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I told one of my team members the other day, I think if you cracked an egg on my ear, it would cook. I was that hot. It was like as if I was standing next to an actual bonfire
Uh,
that you have to back up from. So it's very fascinating because, but see, this is welcome to vitalistic healthcare. Um, this is why I think so many people in an evidence-based model struggle because they're like, well, it's not replicatable. I can't predict the outcome like I can with if I give you 100 milligrams of the whatever, it should do whatever by your body weight. Because, medicine is so
mhm.
Newtonian, like you described in the beginning. If I know your weight in kilograms and I know the measurements of whatever the value is, I can cross calculate because they have pharmacokinetically measured everything and they know the response and it's predictable, which is why medicine is they like that. You enter into vitalistic healthcare. I'll give you a chiropractic example. Sometimes we find someone's atlas is 86% out of alignment and we adjust them once and they feel nothing, but their x-rays show a 50% movement structurally in just one visit because we are structural physicians. Other
Mm.
patients, we do an adjustment and it doesn't move an inch on the x-rays, but they're like, oh my God, like I had an emotional release. I was crying for 5 hours and all my sciatica is gone. 22 years, Dr. Ernst, gone. And I'm like, but it didn't actually move. Like, I even get stuck sometimes in a mechanistic instead of
Mm.
vitalistic. I'm like, your
Uh-huh.
spine must be aligned and it has to be here. And I have people who they don't even budge an inch, but they have tremendous. My psoriasis of 55 years is gone after 2 months, Dr. Ernst. And I'm like, let's take an x-ray. And it's worse. And I'm like, what the heck? And so,
Wow.
like, what we see in vitalism is the body is just doing what it needs. It's almost like you put an energy in and it says, thank you. And I'm going to go do this for just this person. So then you go and you pick another person and you do that same energy in and you're like, whoa, it did something wildly different. And that's why it's so difficult for us to evidently base a procedure because it's unique. And I think
Yeah,
I mean, I understand quantum physics like that much. And
we
actually,
all
I'm
do.
probably holding a quark in my hand right now, but that's about how much I know about quantum physics. But I also know that, at least I was, maybe you probably know way more than me. Everything on this planet, if you went all the way down to subatomic particles, gets still a charge. And tell me if this is true or not. You go all the way down to whatever the smallest of smallest is, and they're supposed to repel each other, but for some reason, they
Mm,
don't. And I was told that's the God particle, the fact that there's no explanation other than it doesn't physically make sense that a negative and a negative are attracted to each other because there's this force that holds it together. And in
hmm
a theological class I was in, the guy stands up and he goes, laminin, if you know this, the anchor protein in the shape of the cross that holds all cells together. And you go Newtonian or you go quantum physics, the God particle. They're like, if that energy just quit holding two negatives together, everything would just go kapoosh.
mm,
Everything in existence would just, and it, as a faith-based individual, I'm like, yeah, because, God holds everything together. And if you go all the way down to the smallest particle, what's the smallest particle we know of? Is it a quark or is it something smaller?
I think it's core, like blow, yeah, Planck
Like, I mean, I'm
length, for
talking like
example.
so small that you're like, you can't even see it. But like, I was
Yeah.
told that they're not supposed to stay together. They're constantly being pushed apart, yet somehow they stay together. And that's the idea of think about how long it's going to take for your classic internist to be like, hey, so this blood pressure issue you're having might actually be a harmonic vibrational disturbance in your body. And instead of me giving you a chemical, which is going to make it worse harmonically,
Yeah.
let's have you wear this necklace for a week and come back. I mean, maybe in the year 3000, when we have that Star Trek scanner. So
Well,
knowing that we're like 37 minutes in, which is awesome. We can go a full hour if you want, but give me something that you would say like I'm gonna wow my viewer with this information because I know you had said earlier before we hit record like Dr. Ernst, I talk to like medical people and I talk to those people out there that are like they're wearing tinfoil on their head and they're sitting in a Faraday cage like just like give me something that will make the average person go whoa, hold up, I never thought of it like that, and that would make them want to go to your website.
Okay, well, I want to give you something that's quite I'd say medical, but still mind-blowing.
Okay. This is it. I knew you had it.
So there is so the same Dr. Thompson, a partner and advisor. So basically, he's isolated the frequency of oxygen, the
Wow.
literally the sound of oxygen. And it turns out that when you put people on a vibrating bed with headphones playing that sound, their blood oxygen concentration increases
That's
without heart rate or anything else increasing. And this is just insane. Like it makes absolutely no sense from the classical medical point of view. And but the exciting thing about this is like this is just oxygen. Like, what if we can do we can find the same for insulin, right? Or anything
that's
else?
first thought I had. A
Yeah,
hormone, testosterone.
yeah.
Right? Think about how many men have low T and how many women have imbalanced oxytocin and their ACTH is off and they're stuck in a menopausal, perimenopausal reaction because they can't balance progesterone and estrogen. Like imagine
hmm
if you could harmonically balance a hormone because you know their sound.
Well, okay, and so this is funny. So I'm actually getting this done right now. Another friends of ours, they have figured out how to find your like sound signature based on your DNA, and they can track specific sounds down to 15 decimals of a hertz, which is like just completely imperceptible by the human ear.
Wow.
And by tuning music to to specifically to that sound, they can change the expression of genes. And by the way, and we know at this point, we like this the genomics and the way the role sound plays is not
So,
mainstream, but like it's proven now. It's great. So I think it's not year 3000. It's happening
what's
now,
happening
and I
now is
think
just not that many people know about it. Let me give you an
it,
example. Are you
okay.
familiar with, in the US, we have a therapy called Cereset, Cereset.
Mm,
I don't know much. I've only gone for 4 sessions, but now you're giving me an answer as to why this happens. So basically, they put the brain scanner EEG machine on your head and they map your brain. They physically map it live. You can see the brain map. And then they give you these headphones, and he's like, all you're going to hear is what sounds like the worst music you've ever heard in your life, a steel drum mixed with a flute and somebody clanging on to me it sounds like my son,
imagine.
he was 2, banging on the pots and pans in my kitchen. So I'm not, no joke, for 12 straight minutes you hear boom gong ding gong ding boom gong ding ding, 12 straight minutes, both ears, and then they rescan your brain, and no joke, all of the harmonic frequencies are better in alignment. And I've done 4 of them, and the unique thing is it has the ability to stress score your body. Like, are you stuck in fight or flight? And when I came in, I was 22 times sympathetic dominant.
Mm,
And I literally, before hopping on your call, I had my 4th session and I'm at 2. So the goal
wow.
is to get into like the +1, -1 standard deviation. So I started, like, the guy was like, Dr. Ernst, it's so far off the chart. Like, we need 6 sheets of paper to print that image for you. And 4 sessions later, I have it down to where you can see it. I don't know that I
Wow.
necessarily feel like I'm, like, at peace with the universe yet, but it is doing something by literally boom, ding, boom, kong, ding, and it has to be tapping into what you're talking about, because
Absolutely.
it's sound, but my
It's
brain is responding to the sound.
yeah. Well, and it's okay. So it's sound, but there is okay. I'm gonna butcher this. I'm still like processing how to even define this in my head. Um, the reason that all this stuff works, the reason this resonance, this uh, coherence, the reason like it's important for the frequencies to be in
Yes.
at the right ratio to each other. Reason all this is important is there. Okay, there is a energy that we're kind of showered with. You can call it God's grace, you can call it whatever you want. And all it really takes is for us to be in alignment with that energy. And the degree to which we are in alignment or with this energy is the health, it's the flow, it's the
Absolutely.
okay.
Creativity, like what you talked about earlier, how you're like, I just sort of came up with, because I asked you, are you the founder and the developer? You're like, not really. I just am the one who downloaded it. And you're like, should we talk about that? So, like, I think when you're in that alignment, like, I talk to my team about this. I'm like, look, guys, when you're harmonically like tuned, then everything happens for you, no matter if you ask for it or not. People will just walk
Yeah.
down the street and be like, here's $100, and you're like,
Yeah. Well, okay, so I want to this is the thing you were waiting for. So we just did our first pilot study on our customers, and so it's hard to quantify a lot of these things because like everyone describes it differently. And most people just say like, oh, I don't know why it's better, but I just don't want to take it off.
yeah,
But so we know you sleep like 92% of people are less stressed, they sleep better, they're uh, less anxious, more calm, more focused, all those things. But so what we're starting to notice, especially with people who have been wearing it for longer, for like a couple months to like maybe even half a year, is the amount of synchronicity in your life starts to
mm-hmm.
increase.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed this, I'm patient zero, so like I was wearing it for a while, so I noticed that first. And now it's really good to hear from other people. So it seems like what's happening, it's kind of working like a layer of the onion. So first it's dealing with your like mental, emotional, physical health, and then it's starting to affect your reality, which is
That's
really
amazing.
fascinating.
It's so amazing. Well, it's like the maybe you know about this. So we have in our brain something called the reticular activating system. Are you familiar with
Hmm.
this?
Yep.
And for those of you who aren't, it's this concept. If you start thinking about a yellow Camaro, and you start visualizing in your mind a yellow Camaro, all of a sudden there's yellow Camaros everywhere. The issue is they were always there. It's just you weren't conscious to their presence because you weren't thinking about it. So in a class once, I'll never forget this. I had a teacher say, the reticular activating system is your mind's Google. So what you think about and what you focus on mentally becomes in reality, not because you manifested it necessarily directly. It's not like I mean, we'll get there eventually. Like, ready? I'm thinking of a cup. Look at that. It just came out of nowhere. Okay. But we're not there yet. That looked pretty cool, didn't it? But
Yeah.
we're at a point though where we're like, if I think about it enough, if I mentally focus on enough, it then shows up. But it's always been there. So I think what you're describing, because I've been wearing this necklace. How long have we been talking to each other? Maybe 8, 9 weeks ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going on maybe 9 weeks, and I'm telling you, you are correct. I mean, I'm having things where like I'm at a restaurant and the waitress is like, you know what? We decided to give you a bottle of wine on the house. And I'm like, for what reason? She's like, we just felt like doing it for you. And I was like, well, it's fascinating. Like there are people, strangers in my life just coming up and going like, here you go. And it's just unique. And I feel like I'm returning the favor because of course in my church they say, hey, if you get blessed, you need to be a blessing. We're blessed to bless. We're blessed to be a blessing. It's like our, I don't want to say it's the catchphrase of our church, but my pastor originally was like, look, if God blesses you, you need to bless others. So you bless because you're blessed. And so like when the universe or when God delivers something like that, if you don't exchange that back, then guess what, man? It's like that source just dies. It's like it's a vessel, right? The more that can flow through me, then the more comes to me. And I'm not talking about all, see, when people hear this, like, oh, he's talking about money. All they talk about is money. No, I'm talking about peace and joy and relationships and wisdom, knowledge, like how you said in the beginning. You're like, I was just sort of just appeared in my mind and then we made it. So you did manifest this into the physical reality. You took quantum energy and through your mind turned it into an actual product. And that is freaking amazing to me.
Yeah.
So I say that to say how awesome the people who finally listen and take us. I mean, it's not, listen, I've bought pendants that are more expensive and they basically did nothing. And these are, I don't want to say they're inexpensive, but in all fairness, they're not that expensive, guys, for the joy you get. I mean, I've spent $500. I have it sitting on my porch or my couch. It's a mat that says it vibrates to your music and you can relax on it. It's called a
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Woojer. Woojer. It just showed up because I'm all into this idea of vibrational frequencies. Michael, who you know, said, hey, I'm going to give you a shift wave chair because the whole
Nice.
thing vibrates and it's got a harmonic frequency. And so your body's like on a chair.
Awesome.
So, like, but guess what? It's all because you and I started having a conversation 8 weeks ago. And then I started
Oh,
looking into vibration frequency therapy. And I'm like, wait, they have a mat you can lay on that vibrates to the music you listen to? That's cool. They have a chair you can sit in that guides you through meditation while the chair vibrates. That's cool too. And there's a necklace. Now, ready for this, guys? The chair was like $20,000 and the mat is like $700. And meanwhile, how much are these? Tell our viewers.
200. But
$200.
here's the thing. But we have the most important thing. There is a 90-day money back guarantee. So if it doesn't work for you, if you don't like it for any reason, just send it back and we'll happily refund you.
Yeah, sadly, I don't think that chair can go back. It's mine for life. Real quick, because I know you have an Android app. Putting you on the spot. When is the iPhone app coming out?
Man.
I know it's harder. I know it's more difficult, but the Android
It's
app is really cool. And I do want to sort of finish real quick on how you can do the speech.
mm,
It has the ability to listen to your conversation. And I thought it was really cool. It's like, Dr. Aaron, you seem bored. And I was like, what? Oh, really? Can you talk a little bit about your Android app and what that technology is? And then I'm hoping it comes to the iOS platform soon.
it's coming, man. It is I can't wait for it to most unfortunately most of my friends and family are on iPhone. I'm the only one on Android. So,
Yeah.
okay, so the this is kind of cool. So this happened almost, not almost, by accident. So the casing for this device is copper. So it's plated in like platinum gold, and this one is black nickel. But it's actually made of copper, and copper is a Faraday cage. So
Correct.
it makes sure so there's no EMF that can leave this thing at all. So it's
Correct.
and it turns out like our customers really like that there's no EMF. Um, so we designed the app to sync with the device through vibration. No pun intended. So you touch your phone to the device, the phone vibrates, and there's a sensor here that picks up the vibration and gets programmed. And so we can adjust the frequency based on your HRV from
Correct.
your phone, right? And your voice. And so this is, by the way, speaking of year 3000 technology, which I think is coming much sooner. There is a tremendous amount of data in our voice. So the what you'll find in our app is basically your state, your energy level, your like positive, negative mood, essentially, right? Your alignment. And so we can adjust based on your state, we can adjust the frequencies of the device,
Correct.
which is really cool. But there's so much more data in our voice, and we're going to have this in the future versions. So we can diagnose if you've had an injury in a particular vertebra. Right?
Wow.
It's absolutely insane.
Well,
So
when
that
you
and
think
that's
about
coming
it,
really soon.
because I was telling one person, I said, just, take your hands and place them on your chest and talk. And you should feel a vibration going through your lungs and your ribs. So
Sure.
maybe it's a future edition. Imagine if the necklace itself is sensing the vibration and has a technology that could then adapt. So if you're having a conversation on a Zoom like this and it's like, wait a minute, like secretly, even though you look like you're having a good time, you're actually like internally stressed or bored or whatever, that it could like then go and give you a harmonizing tune. I believe that's how that works with the voice adaptation on the Android app, right?
Yeah, that's actually so it's that's coming it's coming soon as well. So
Woo, we leaked something. Sorry, guys. Oh, so sorry.
no, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah,
Well,
we have actually a few things. We have a few things coming. So that and also a home-based device is on the way
oh
later this year
man,
as
that's
well.
gonna be
So that's
amazing. Yes. I mean, listen, I'm one of those guys that's you talked about like you have that and here. I like to think I'm on both sides because I have a crystal plasma bulb that hooks to a Rife machine that I can go. And
whoa.
I'm telling you, like, when I turn it on, like, goodbye internet, goodbye TV signals, and I'm sitting in that thing, and I don't even know what it's doing. All I know is I'm like, you could probably get electrocuted if you touch it, but I'm telling you, a plasma crystal bulb that hooks to a Rife machine, and you turn it on, and like my hairs are like when you're inside this zone, this space, and whoo. So I'm one of those, but at the same token, I'm very like mechanistic in regards to PubMed and everything else. So
Mhm.
I think that's what's so unique is we have people who they only hang out over here, and that for most of us, we're like, that's a little spacey for me. And then you have these people where you're like, I don't understand. Like they're talking about the guanosine, glycine pathways, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I lost you at hello. And then you have like the middle, which is like you take both of them and you create this synergy. And I think that's what you've done. Like how exciting.
Yeah, I think that's honestly that's the place to be is the is healthy skepticism about everything, but also
Absolutely.
open-mindedness about everything because we have to be humble enough to know that we don't really understand everything yet, right?
Well, and that's the brilliance of our humanity is when we wake up and we realize what I thought I knew was true might have some truth to it, but the hardest part. So this is a founder in our profession. His name was BJ Palmer. He said the most difficult thing to ever do is to get an idea through 3/4 of an inch of human skull. The skull, the culvarium is the most difficult thing to penetrate. An idea. And what is an idea? Think about it. An idea is energy, it's vibration, it's frequency. And so to get an idea through this skull is the hardest thing. But even when it's in, to have it replace a previous idea is also difficult because often those ideas fight the new, but it's just our defensive. It's our I don't want to say immaturity, but it's our emotional, there's emotional intelligence. It's our emotional immaturity to be like, you know what? We got to let ego come down a little bit. And we have to be okay with the fact that we might not know everything. And we have to be, like you said, open to, wait a second, like there's an actual quark energy and there's science that matches that. And it's like, I tell you, 5 years from now with AI, we're going to know so much that we didn't know that we're going to be like, wow, it just makes perfect sense because
Yeah.
we're learning now, like we're reaching, singularity. If you know about this, our knowledge is climbing so fast that like what we thought we knew yesterday has been already replaced today. And that's an awesome moment to be in, but also a scary moment. So, um, thank you so much for being here. We're at 55, which is incredible because we get up to 1 hour. Otherwise, they kick us off the live stream. So, in the last 5 minutes, could you just give us your mini version of your TED Talk? Because you don't know, I'll put a link below. Exceptional TED Talk. Now you have 5 minutes to do it. So ready, go.
Thank you.
Not
Well, I
15,
think
you
we
have five.
covered a lot of it already, right?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, it's basically we know that the world we know that physics is quantum. We use this knowledge that physics is quantum to have this conversation, remotely and to talk to each other on the
Yeah.
screen. Yet, intuitively, for most of us, it's really hard to grasp. And even I, honestly, like when I look at this thing, and it's really hard for me to fathom how this, like, you can barely hear it, you can see it, but like, how would this light really affect my state and my health as it does? So intuitively, it's really hard, and especially if for those of us that have been, I would say, indoctrinated into
Yeah.
like this particular way of thinking, this is just very counterintuitive. And so, my main takeaway is let's be open-minded. So let's skeptical yet open-minded. So let's try it. And again, so not to be self-serving here, but if you're open-minded to it, try it. If you don't like it, just send it back. There's really nothing to lose. When it comes to studies, then yes, we're working on publishing our study right now, but honestly, the only study that matters, it has a sample of one, and that's you.
Hmm.
To me, it doesn't matter if there are 1,000 people or 10,000 people who have had a result. If it doesn't work for me, it doesn't work for me. And unless there is a negative side effect,
I mean,
that's all it is.
where on earth are you ever going to have a company that says, look, 90 days, use it, and if it doesn't do anything, send it back. But if it does do something, tell someone else about it. It's very much like in our office, right? If you don't
Yeah.
have a transformation in your health take place in the next 90 days, then we're not in line with your root cause. Like root cause therapy, if you know this, you should have a change within a day, two, three at the most. Like if you're not noticing a difference within 72 hours, then we're not on the right frequency. We're not on the right cause. We might think we were, hey, it's this, and we start treating it, and we're like, you should have gotten better by now. But then as soon as you shift and you actually hit that main note, that root, that E note, boom, you're like, oh my God, look at that. Because
Oh,
without going too deep into this, the human body is so fascinating. And what we thought, I mean, think about this. You talked about PEMF just for a second. We used to think that you couldn't really speed up bone regeneration. It was just a clock. You put on a cast, you wait exactly 8 weeks, and it should regenerate. And now if it doesn't, we're like, well, you're old, okay? And if it goes faster, you're young. But now you can PEMF an active fracture and take 8 weeks and bring it down to 6 or 5. Even my dad, 77 years old, someone accidentally ran over his foot with a car, broke a metatarsal. 77. They're like, this is going to take 3 months. He pimped it in my office multiple times a week for about 6 weeks. And they were like, the fracture is basically fully healed. We don't understand. You're 77. How'd you do that? And he's
nice.
like, I used a PEMF machine. And Ortho Carolina's like, a what? Like a machine? Like these are the head orthopedic doctors that are like, wait, what did you do? And he's like, I used a PEMF machine to help my foot regrow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Um, I just thought of something else. Do we still have a minute?
Yes, we do. I mean, I'll go a little
Okay.
longer.
All right. All
But
right.
I own the
So,
stream. I own the stream, so I'm going to keep it going.
okay. So you said something about root cause, and this is it's something just clicked in my head, so I have to share it. Um, One of my favorite books is David Data's Way of the Superior Man.
Oh,
And in
yes,
this
that's a
book,
great one.
so in this book, he says just a brilliant thing. And this is like a guide for men how to deal with life, but women specifically or partially. And he says, so no matter what the problem is with your woman, the actual problem is that she's not feeling loved in the moment.
Hmm.
So whatever the problem is, just solve the problem of her being loved, and then the problem that you thought you had goes
Disappear.
away.
Yes.
So I think with the analogy here that I'm really liking is whatever like the problem is with your health, with your body, the actual problem is you're out of balance.
Hmm.
So just go get back into balance, and then the problem is going to heal itself.
We should just drop the mic. Let me see if I can. Hey, post-production team, because that is profound. And I'm gonna add a little extra to it. If marital relationship issues get fixed by just having your other spouse feel loved, here we go. What if it's just we don't love ourselves? What if it's we are not in tune with the love that we should give ourselves? And if we don't have the greatest of all commandments, love the Lord your God first, then love yourself second, and then love others third. What if we're just out of balance with the structure that God says it should be? Because I can't love myself if I don't love God, and I can't love others if I don't love myself. And I had a coach once say, think of it like a hanger for your shirt. The top that holds everything in place is God, the hook that
Mhm.
goes on the bar. And you and everyone else are the two ends. And if all of that is perfectly balanced, that hanger stays perfect. But ego kicks in if you love yourself too much. And guess what happens? You're out of balance. Now God pivots, so he's like, I mean, I'll still be here. But your ego kicks in and you're like, all I care about is myself. Well, everyone else can sense that. And they're like, there's a narcissist. But then if you go the other way where all you care about is everyone else, God's like, yeah, but you're dying too. So you have to
Right.
harmonically balance the love of God with the love of yourself and the love of others. Because Jesus, remember, they were like, what's the greatest of all commandments? And he's like, love the Lord your God and yourself and others, period.
Easy.
What a beautiful show
Oh,
today. Thank you so much. I'm so excited about
thank
this.
you,
And
man.
hey, everyone watching, I truly want you to visit the one device. And I mean, I'm sure you're gonna go 199. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, I have spent thousands of dollars on therapy. The PEMF machine I have is 15 grand. The harmonic vibrational bed that I use to tune my nervous system, $7,000. The chair, $10,000. The mat, $7.99 on Amazon for a Woozer mat. And honestly, all it does is it listens to your iPhone's music and it vibrates to the music you're listening to. So if you're listening to Metallica, you're going to vibrate. But if you listen to like some sort of, so and that's cool, but that's not doing anything like what this is. $199 for you to have 90 days of eventual joy and bliss and this amazing feeling. Like I honestly, like you guys are practically giving it away, in my opinion. Now, that is the base model, though, right? That's the base model because
Yeah, if you want the gold
I
or
don't
platinum,
believe
it's
the
a little bit
24
more, but
karat rose gold is 199.
yeah, but it's just for the look. It functions exactly the same. So
Yes.
I prefer the black. That's just
Well,
more
it's
my
because we're men and
yeah.
we're not going to walk around with a rose gold necklace on. But if you want to do that, guys, do it. And ladies, if you want to wear a black matte one, go for it. But again, Dimitri, just an absolute honor. I know you're probably like, dude, I've got to go to bed because what is it, 3 in the morning for you now? 2 in the morning?
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right.
It's good.
Again, thank you so much for being here. And hey, guys, as we close this out, don't forget, man, click subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, hit follow, hit subscribe, activate the bells, hit the follow buttons that allow for notifications because the only way you stay in the know is if you actually listen to this stuff. And yes, we went long. I know for most of you, an hour, but hold up. You'll watch 2 hours of a movie that does nothing for your knowledge other than entertainment. And this is only an hour of edutainment. We're educating you and entertaining you at the same time. So thank you so much for being here today. It's a privilege, and I can't wait to physically shake your hand somehow in the future. So
Absolutely.
Dimitri, it's been an honor.
Thanks, man.
Enjoy your night or your morning. Enjoy your morning. Okay, bye.